This isn't an actual screenshot, right? There's no way this is an actual screenshot, right? It wasn't this bad. The guy intentionally put a filter over it to fuck it up a little bit, right? Wow, Tut. You have the same name as the terrible fucking Sudanese employee that I had that couldn't fucking speak English. Are you Sudanese or is your name just Tut? Anyway, welcome to the Tier 2 subscription Arena Club. Is there any way to change your nickname? I mean, I can do it. Why, you don't like the name Aslan Blazing at 420 anymore? Dude, Kyle like stopped talking to me on Skype. What the fuck? Is he having like... This is the right Kyle. Kyle, wake the fuck up. Is Destiny just sitting there waiting for subscriptions? That's what the first 15 minutes of my stream is. I sit here, if I don't get at least 3 subscriptions, then I just turn the stream off and we don't play. But if I get 3, then I'll stream for the rest of the day. That's how every stream starts. You didn't know that? Some train, guys. Some train. Alright, guys. Last night, holy fucking shit fucks. Last night we watched the movie, last night we all watched Whiplash, right? I think there were about 400 of you that were on that stream. Oh my fucking god. That film, I think it was like an hour-and-a-half film, felt like it went by in like 15 minutes tops. I honestly, when we finished, I thought that it was like, I almost thought it was a short film. I thought it was like, oh, well, the director's trying to be edgy by having like a 45, 50-minute film or something. Oh my god, dude, that thing went by so fucking fast. It was like the most aggressive pacing I've ever seen in a movie in my life. Not that I'm not saying that's necessarily a good or a bad thing. I mean, it definitely wasn't a bad thing, but oh my fucking god, that thing went by so fast. Was it 1 hour and 9 minutes? Or 109 minutes, oh, I'm sorry. I don't think it was quite that long. Let me check. In my legally purchased... My hard drive's gotta spin up. Oh, okay, no, it was about an hour and 30 minutes. No, yeah, about an hour and 35 minutes. Okay, yeah, so about... Yeah, holy shit, this movie went by so fast. Damn, what a fucking movie, dude. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. This movie is really fucking good. This really isn't a movie about music. It looked like it. Originally, like when I saw the clips or whatever, I thought it was going to be like super like about music and shit. It really isn't. This movie is about music the same way that Remember the Titans is about football, right? Well, it's not really. So like... If you thought about watching this because you really like a lot of the old jazz drummers or you really like jazz music and shit, and you wanted to see this, you're not probably going to be very happy. If you didn't want to watch this because you're like, oh, I don't want to just watch, you know, like something that has to do with music the whole time, that's not a reason not to watch it. The movie, this is a sick as fuck movie. Oh my god, this was a sick as fuck movie. Holy shit. But yeah, it's not really necessarily about music, but the oh, Dargon, welcome to the Tier 1 Streamer Club. But, the music that was in it was, like, really good. Like, obviously there are times, if you want to go, like, super fucking try hard, you know, there were some times where, like, there was, like, muted trumpets playing, but the trumpets didn't have mutes in them, or, like, if you stare at the drum set enough, like, oh, okay, you can tell that he's playing to, like, a track or whatever, and he's not actually... But, I mean, like, for the most part, I think that everything musically in the movie was handled really, really well. I don't know if I'm starting to watch this more now, if I'm starting to notice this more now because I watched that guy's fucking YouTube channel, that every frame picture or whatever, but the editing for this was like, I thought it was really fucking good. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff. I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to tell you the first thing about it, but just like as somebody that watched it, the way that it was put together in like the final 10 minutes when this shit starts, oh, I guess spoiler alerts, we're doing like hardware spoilers. Oh my fucking god. It was, I don't know, just the... When he starts playing, the triple fucking zoom on him was too much.
Now we're gonna slow it down a little bit.
The triple zoom when he starts playing, I noticed this immediately. 1, 2, 3. Holy shit. Oh my god, dude. All the way that this whole last thing was cut together was like so fucking like visually fucking mind-blowing. Oh my fucking god. Holy shit, right? The whole when it was going back and forth between the conductor and him, when it was doing like the zoom back and forth, I would love to see like a film dude like break it down, or maybe it was really amateurish, I don't know, but the effect that it had on like me watching it, not understanding any of that shit, like oh my fucking god, it was oh shit, it was crazy. The yeah, I don't know, dude. The I felt like all of the editing on the music parts was like really, really well done.
Alright, so I've still got a bunch of Vancouver Film Fest movies to talk about. Meanwhile, I'm halfway through a Thoughts On video and a YMS video that I'm trying to get out, so most of the movies are gonna have to wait a little bit, but there are 2 movies I saw that I know have a lot of hype around them, so I figure I'll talk about these ones right away and leave the rest until later. First up is Foxcatcher. This was a really good movie, but it's one that I don't feel I ever have to watch again. The main thing that holds this movie up is Steve Carell's performance. Now, I already think that his comedic acting has been pretty stellar, but it was really interesting to see him take on a more serious role, and I'm sure that a lot of people are seeing this movie just for that. He did pull it off very well, but I also respect the story, but they really stretched it. And Mark Ruffalo were also great, and it was cool that they went out of 10. The other movie I saw at Vancouver Film Fest that I know has a lot of hype was Whiplash, and it was pretty fantastic. This is a movie that really exceeded my expectations. It was already something I was looking forward to, but I didn't expect it to be this great. The writer and director previously wrote a guilty pleasure of mine called Grand Piano. It's just as musical as this film, but the sequence of events is a little bit more far-fetched. Grand Piano was a guilty pleasure, but Whiplash is one of the best films of the year, and J.K. Simmons gives one of the best performances of the year. Not only did he fit his role extremely well as a fiercely intimidating conductor, but he was able to bring a level of depth to his character that I did not expect. And because of how seamlessly the character was written and performed, his character was not only believable, but understandable. Without explanation, you're gradually able to interpret his motives and why he acts the way he does. And every single scene he's in is not only massively entertaining, but extremely well delivered. Thankfully, this isn't one of those films where you have to be patiently waiting for those scenes to show up, as he is an extremely prominent role within this film. Miles Teller also did a pretty great job with his performance, but holy crap, can he ever drum. As a musician, it was apparent that they were syncing to backing tracks being played, but they were in no way faking their abilities.
Yeah. Like it was pretty, like when you watch some of it, if you like really go try hard, you're like, oh, he's playing to a sync track, but I thought that it looked like the performances all looked really believable to me, at least.
Now, I know this isn't going to affect the average viewer's experience, but as someone that plays a lot of instruments, unfortunately there were countless points in the film where I noticed that what was being played wasn't exactly accurate. Not only were a lot of the notes distractingly off sync for me, but many of the hits that you hear aren't even being played. It's not really something that's going to bother the average viewer because at most it's only about one hit every measure that's being missed. Most of what he's playing is also pretty fast, so if you're not the type to pick up on it, it's not going to bother you. Again,
Okay, I think that's more or less what I just said. He's being a little bit more critical, but I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I'm not a drummer, right? I mean, but I thought it was pretty believable. It wasn't like distractingly bad for me, in my opinion.
And it doesn't happen the entire movie, but it does happen a lot. Fortunately enough, I did not notice any inaccuracies in what I would consider to be the most important scene. And crazily enough, despite the notable inaccuracies of the piano in the film, there's a short scene where J.K. Simmons is playing piano and he's actually playing it accurately. I know that the musical inaccuracies aren't going to bother people that aren't musicians, but when you're making a movie that features music so prominently, I would consider it to be more than fair criticism to point it out. Part of what I loved about Grand Piano is how amazingly accurate the music was throughout the film. Obviously, it's not completely accurate, but it was cheated very well. In one of my favorite movies of all time, The Piano Teacher, the inaccuracies were so minor and so well cheated that I was only ever able to pick up on them after the Blu-ray was recently released. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a film pull off such complicated music scenes per those minor inaccuracies. The music was very impressive. After I left the theater, I just couldn't stop ham-boning.
Ham boning. No!
I have a couple more issues with the film as well. There was a dinner table conversation that seemed really cliched. They were really preachy about the contrast on the public's view between musicians and sports players. In that short scene, it felt way too much like we were being spoken to as audience members, rather than the characters speaking to themselves genuinely. The only other issue I have with the film was the delivery of quite an important scene. Now, I'm not gonna spoil anything because you'll pick it up when you see it, but during a very important initial incident that affects the rest of the movie, what we're shown visually doesn't make all that much sense. It'll show you what happened, but you'll be like, how the fuck did that happen? It wouldn't really bother me that much if the outcome of the scene was less important.
Wait, what?
Damn it seems like almost every time something ridiculous happens, it's for the sake of a plot device. And I'm talking about movies in general, because in this one, it only happened at that one point. Now that I've talked about my issues with this film, let me just say that the last 30 to 40 minutes of this film is one of the best third acts I've seen to any movie ever. I was fixed to the screen and I actually felt like I was in the movie. Obviously, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but holy fuck, the third act was phenomenal. The third act of this movie is responsible for me absolutely loving this movie. So get fucking hyped, because
the car
despite
crash?
its flaws, this film is now in my top 4 films of 2014. Part of me wants to hold back a little because of its flaws and give this movie an 8, but believe me, the third act more than makes up for it. And I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10.
The one thing I guess I didn't really think about, I probably need more time to think about it, right? I just watched this last night. But the one thing that the movie does really well is like I think this is in part plays to like the aggressive pacing of the movie, right? But like there are a lot of you guys watched this last night. There were no scenes like there was no filler in this movie anywhere ever, right? Every fucking scene that this guy was in. Is this the J.K. Simmons guy? I think that's this actor's name. Every single fucking scene that had this guy in it, like, I feel like you always wanted more. And even the main character wasn't like the main character wasn't like an annoying whiny piece of shit too. Like, I don't know. These guys, fuck, dude. The movie just like fucking every time they were on the screen, it just like zipped by like so quickly. Holy shit! I can't even You should watch this movie. This goes up with like my Steins Gate like recommendation tier, where like you should watch this movie. Holy shit. It's unbelievable how quickly the entire movie goes by. Not even just the third act, but like from the very beginning of the movie, like it zips by so insanely quickly. Holy shit. And the editing, the cutting together, like the music and the notes going by, and the camera shots are so fucking cool. Holy shit, they're so cool. the back and forth between the conductor when the drummer's taking these fills. Oh my god, this movie is so sick. I think it's these back and forths. Oh my god. Dude, oh man, I don't know, dude. It's getting like super circle jerky. This movie was really fucking good. You should watch it. Again, this isn't like I wouldn't say that this is like a music movie. Obviously, music is like the battleground that they choose to like have, this plot centered on, but like even if you have like you don't like music or jazz or anything like that at all, like this movie was like fucking, oh my god, this movie is so sick. Oh my god, this movie was so sick. I was, like I said, when I saw the trailers and everything for this movie, I was expecting to go in and be like, oh, like it's so funny, like, like band shit or whatever, like thinking like just that, but like came out of it like the oh my god, the movie was so fucking sick. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah, I had no idea that the movie was going to be as good as. Competitive music could also be called the setting. It's not, so the your mic, mate. What's wrong with my mic? I don't know. The if I had to levy like one criticism at this movie, I think the one thing that I didn't like the most about the movie, like the biggest problem that I had with it, is I feel like the I feel like the sacrifices that the main character made in order to become as good as he was, I feel like those weren't highlighted enough. I felt like the like, I think like with the theme of the movie, I think the idea of the movie is that they wanted it to be they wanted the movie to be a very clear cut, like at the how do you say, like at the end of the movie, right? This is obviously, we're in like heavy spoiler territory. I'm gonna assume that you were that everybody's watched it, or you don't care about spoilers, either one. Like at the very end of the movie, it could have been left as like a, do you think it was worth it in the end, right? Because that's kind of the question that the movie is always asking, right? Is it worth it to push somebody this hard to get the performance that you want out of them? But I mean, the answer is painfully obvious, right? Like, as soon as the I feel like the question is like answered, right? As soon as you see the dude fucking the dude smile, right here, this scene, right, where you know like everything was worth it at the end, right? For this dude's approval, and because they both know that this guy accomplished something that but like they blow over the sacrifices in the movie a lot, right? Like they go over like, oh, the one dude, by the way, he killed himself, and then they just like, whatever, rip. Or like, you know, the guy had to give up his girlfriend. It's like, okay, and then that wasn't like a big deal. I don't know. It seems like they brushed over the sacrifices the dude had to make to get there. Like really, it made him kind of seem a lot minor, so that the ending is incredibly obvious, right? Like the ending is so obvious. Like, is it worth it to give up everything to try to become great? It's, the movie would have you believe it's a resounding yes. You know, but I think it helped the pace of the movie. Yeah, if you would have left in all the other shit, I think it would have made for a much different movie, right? Where the ending maybe isn't as like questionable. Like, for instance, like when you look at compared to say we could go to the opposite end of the spectrum with the with Inception, right? Where at the end of Inception, right, the question is kind of like, well, is he dreaming at the end? Well, does it even matter if he's dreaming or not, as long as he's happy? Like, is it better to live in dreams or face a harsh reality? Like, there's all that kind of shit. All of that shit plays in at the end of Inception, right? Where like you don't actually know, like, but should you know, like it leaves a lot to the viewer. Like you have to really think like, well, I don't know, is it better, like if he's dreaming, is it okay that he's happy? If he's not dreaming, would it be better to be miserable? Or like there's all that going on, right? And at the end of this movie, I feel like the writer, director, producer, whatever, who's ever in charge of this shit, I feel like they could have presented a similar question, right? Where it was like, is it worth it that this guy gave up everything in his life and tortured himself in order to get to this point, in order to be able to perform this well? Was it all worth it in the end, Like, that's a question that's never actually left up to the viewer, because the movie answers it. The movie says, yes, it's absolutely fucking worth it. Like, and it almost ends right when it finishes the performance, right? When he hits the cymbal the last time, the movie ends, because it's like nothing else matters past that point, because he achieved what he wanted to, Again, I think it was a question that the movie, I think that the movie specifically did it that way. They wanted it to be like, well, this is the only way, this is the message that we want to portray in the movie. If you think that there should be other things or whatever, that's for a different movie, So I don't know if I would necessarily say that's a bad or a good thing, but Destiny, I don't think the question you're asking is relevant. The sacrifices happen, they aren't that bad, and they have a positive outcome. No, that's absolutely not true, Left Flower. You missed that in the movie, but I don't blame you for missing it, because the movie treated it majorly, like relatively. That was the movie treated it minorly, but the fact of the matter is that conductor had broken a lot of people, some so much that they killed themselves, right? You can't say the sacrifices are minor when that one trumpet player, I think it was a trumpet player, Sean, committed suicide. He committed suicide because the conductor pushed him so hard. So you can't say that the sacrifices are minor. I think that the sacrifices were always supposed to be major, right? The guy that we just watched do the review of that dinner scene at the movie table was supposed to be like it's smashing you over the head with the philosophy of the movie, right? It's absolutely fucking smashing you in the head with, this is what this movie is about, by the way.
How do you over at 90?
This whole dinner scene, you know, where the people on the left are like, yo, like you could be like a chill dude, you could, you know, work for school, do sports, have friends, all this cool shit, and then the guy on the right is like, I'll literally give up every single fucking thing in my life just to be remembered as a great, you know, like that's the difference, right? The only problem I feel is that the guy on the right, you know, the kid in the movie, the sacrifices seem to be downplayed a lot. I mean, just in my personal opinion, but did you want a sort of grittier ending? Like, say he finishes a performance and then has to go back and reflect on all the damage he's done. Well, Strophium, I'm saying that, like, that could have been a thing, but I don't know if I would have wanted that or not. Like I said, the movie was really aggressively paced. I don't know if having all of that in there would have taken away from it or not. Like I said, I'm sure that the director thought about that a lot, or the writer, whoever is ultimately in charge. Like, I think that, people, I don't know, it would have changed the movie a lot. I don't know if I would have wanted to change it, but wasn't the whole car accident scene insane? Well, I feel like, I mean, obviously the car accident scene was like over the fucking top, but it was supposed to, I mean, it kind of plays in, it fits with the movie. As stupid as it sounds, I mean, it fits with the movie, like hardcore, right? Pushing yourself to the absolute fucking limit and then beyond, right? Who would go and play a concert after a fucking car accident? That sounds absolutely fucking insane. But the main character is absolutely fucking insane, and the director is absolutely fucking insane. So even though that scene in a vacuum is obviously incredibly fucking retarded, right? You don't get in a car accident and then run to the fucking concert to try to play it with a concussion and a broken rib. It's so stupid, right? But I mean, in this movie, it absolutely fits, you know? The scene where he assaults the director shows the mental sacrifice he made in a huge way. Yeah, I agree with that, sure. Yeah. But the, oh man, dude. I'm not really like a big drummer fan. Like, I don't really like drums as much. I'm almost surprised that you didn't see this movie, with like a horn player, because it's so much easier to show this kind of stuff. Doing it on drums is so fucking scary. I don't know, I guess the actor had a pass with drums, but it's so much easier. It's so much easier to do this kind of stuff on other instruments, to fake somebody looking good and to, you know, to play to a sync track and whatnot, because the audience can't follow those little finger things anywhere near as much as a guy, you know, like moving around. But the, I'm trying to think of like movies that have done this. What's the one with the, what's the one where the kid has to beat the devil playing with the guitar competition at the end? He's playing against Steve Vai. Is it like, it's called like The Devil's Crossroad or something? I don't know. Destiny, what about him doing so amazingly well in the final scene without practice? Are they implying he's that good? Oh, no. He didn't do amazingly well on the song that he didn't know. He did amazingly well when he took over and he played the song that he knew, right? Like, because he's the one that decided to play Caravan at the end. Oh, Crossroads. Yeah, there have been like,
How to highlight your textbook.
Can I get you a coloring book?
Wrong. With multicolored highlighting, you can categorize and save all your highlights. Amazon e-textbooks. Study smarter, not harder.
Yeah, they've done, I mean, I can't think of many other movies where they did this, but obviously this was a movie at the end where they had like the music off. And eventually the kid, I haven't actually seen this movie, although I can kind of guess what happens in the movie based on, you know, this final scene, where it seems like this guy's won and then the kid brings it back with some classical bullshit. He played Whiplash at the end? No, it was Caravan that he played at the end, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was Caravan. Yeah, Caravan. Destiny, don't you think that they're implying that practice is everything with the movie, though? What do you mean? Steve Vai, one of the most accomplished guitarists on Earth? Yeah, he is. I never said anything different. I mean, he's good. He plays fast, at least. Oh my fucking god, dude. The climax of this movie. The whole, dude, this whole ending performance is so fucking awesome. Everything that fucking happens when his fucking symbol falls over and the guy corrects it for him or whatever. Oh my god. Oh, dude, the whole ending to this movie is so fucking good. Holy shit. When he, oh yeah. When he picks a symbol up for him. I'm not a music buff, but will Whiplash interest me? Yeah, no, this movie has like nothing to do with music. It really doesn't. I mean, like, music is the... Oh my god, dude, this movie, dude, the ending of this movie was so fucking sick. Holy shit. This is the best movie I've seen in a long time. I think that the last big movie that I saw was Interstellar. So, like, this movie is, like, the exact fucking opposite of that movie, right? Where all of my complaints about Interstellar was that I felt like I felt like Interstellar wandered too much, and I felt like it dragged really fucking hard in certain areas. I felt like you could have cut an hour out of it, and you would have gotten a much better way. Like, that was my ending feelings for, like, Interstellar, and then this movie was, like, fucking, like, the complete and total opposite of that. Holy shit. Yeah, the movie is more about motivation than actual music. Well, I don't know, yeah. I still don't understand why the conductor wasn't punished for his actions. He got fired. I think this movie also particularly resonates with people who have had some degree of music training. I don't think it's just about people who have had music training, though. Anybody that's gone to college for athletics or for any kind of art that's wanted to be like professional tier, I feel like they go through similar things, right? This has to happen outside of music more. My special, like, I know the most about music. I know a little bit about Olympic stuff because my sister was really big into that. My older sister was into that, but I can't speak like with firsthand experience. And then based on what I've always read on other athletes or whatever, is that always seems to be some kind of a question, is like, how hard do people push themselves? I don't think it's just a musical thing. I think like if you've done athletics and you've had that coach or that director that's been a huge fucking hard ass, or if you've done I don't know how art works, like painting and shit. I don't know if you've got to practice that a lot. But I mean, like music, right? Things that require mechanics, right? Like music is can be a very mechanical thing, you know, getting your fingers or your body to move fast enough. Athletics is obviously a very mechanical thing. Getting your body to perform at a certain level, you know, wrestling, bodybuilding, all of that. Like, I feel like everybody's had... Watch this, anatomy of a scene. Oh, they do shit like this? Oh.
Yes, TV. We need to be on TV. Us on TV. Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Damien Chazelle. I wrote and directed Whiplash. This is the opening sequence. It was important to me, you know, right away. The way movies begin is so crucial to me. It's that moment where you really have the audience totally spellbound. You haven't lost them yet. The lights in the theater have just gone down. And I think a lot of movies almost kind of waste their opening few seconds. It's the most critical moment, and so I wanted to begin right away with sort of the thesis statement of the film, equating the sound of a drum, which we're hearing now is sort of single-stroke roll mounting, with warfare. You know, there's something inherently military about the snare drum, and about the drum set in general. And it spoke to what I wanted this movie to speak about, which is musicianship, the challenges of musicianship, but the ways that can bleed over into cruelty, into suffering, into inhumanity, and fear, dread. So the tone was also important to establish right away. I wanted that single stroke roll to feel to just get you on edge right away. And I wanted this shot here to be lit and timed in such a way that we immediately sensed a certain undercurrent of dread. That this was not just going to be a movie about the joys of musicianship, but that there was constantly going to be a sort of an undercurrent of menace. And we're about to see that menace personified just now as Miles Teller stops playing and J.K. Simmons makes his entrance. And this was a lot of fun to kind of light with my DP Sharon Mir, you know, to sort of allow J.K. to truly come from darkness into the light. But this conductor who J.K. Simmons plays is sort of the top, you know, he's like the top conductor in this fictitious music school, Schaefer Conservatory, which is sort of, you know, loosely based on Juilliard and New England Conservatory and other conservatories of its ilk. But he's this sort of figure who, you know, you have to establish right away, purely visually, what he's all about. And he doesn't do that much in this scene. If you see, you know, Miles is flailing around the drum set and J.K. is still as a rock, you know.
Did I ask you to start playing again?
Sorry,
I asked why
misunderstood.
you stopped playing, and your version of an answer was to turn into a wind-up monkey.
Sorry, I thought.
He's seductive and yet scary all at once. At least that's what we were going for. And I like movies that, you know, kind of give you the entire movie in a way, in microcosm in the opening scene. This is a scene that winds up basically being replayed throughout the movie in a sense. This is the rest of the movie becomes a sort of set of variations on this theme. It's the teacher and the student. It's the student not living up to what the teacher demands of him. And it's this moment right here. It's the failing to achieve what you want to achieve.
Oopsie daisy. Forgot my jacket.
Oh my god, dude. Ugh. Dude, this fucking movie was so good. Every fucking scene this guy was in was so fucking good. Every scene this guy was in was so good. Right? Really? Oh god, dude. I don't even know. Fuck, man. Maybe I need to go watch more movies. I haven't seen a movie this good in a long time. Every single scene that this guy was in just like was fucking perfect. It was perfect. The camera whipping instead of cutting. Yeah, the way that the film was cut together and filmed was so good. J.K. Simmons carried the movie. I don't know. I don't agree. I think that everything. One of the things that I like the most about this movie too is it shows like it takes a concept that like we see played out before, right? But it gives it a much different spin, right? Like usually when you see people working hard to like do something, you don't really. I'm kind of backtracking a little bit now. I'm really backtracking a little bit now. Now that I think about it more, right? Because I was saying before that I felt like the sacrifice wasn't showed that much, but when you compare it to like historically, like when we think about people like training to like overcome, you know, their body and their limits, like usually it's like always like a really happy and fucking joyous thing, right? Like we think about like Rocky montages are like the classic fucking thing, right? Oh, like, you know, he's working hard and he's happy. We have this upbeat music and he's, you know, he's bettering himself and fucking all the training and all the people around him are supporting him and right. And it's like, oh, like this is really cool. This is what it must mean to like train hard and succeed, right? Whereas if you contrast like that image with, you know, what's going on with the movie where the guy is like fucking destroying his mind and his fucking hands are fucking falling apart, you know, because he's practicing so much, like, I don't know. It's interesting when he tries to play after the car crash or whatever. Oh my god, I love this guy so much. When he at the end when he flips the symbol in his fucking face. I don't even remember what part. What part does that happen? I think it's right. I think it's right when he starts. No, it's not. Hold on, I gotta find it.
I'll cue you in.
Fuck, I don't remember when it happened. Oh, right here. Oh my god, this is all cut together. It's so fucking sick. The way that the camera would pan over, would move over the set so much when he would, oh my god, dude, this movie was so good. Oh, dude, I want to watch it again. Oh my god, this movie was so sick. In thinking about it, I take back what I said earlier, where I said, like, I feel like a movie like this works so much better with, like, a saxophone or a guitar or a horn, right? Because it's so much easier to just show it and to fake it. But actually, this movie works perfectly because of how aggressive the editing is, with, like, all the moving the camera so much. I think it works so much better with the drums. It works so much better with the drums. Oh my god, dude, this movie was so sick. Holy shit. All right, I think we're done. I think we're done talking. Are we done talking about it? If it weren't for the cinematography, those scenes would have been so boring. Yeah, it's possible. Just bringing in this scene. This is like my favorite fucking thing of all fucking time. The triple fucking.
What are you doing?
The triple fucking cut. Oh my god, the climax of this movie was so fucking good. The triple cut, all the shots are so good.
Now we're going to slow it down a little bit. I'm guessing most of you folks have heard of it.
That 1, 2, 3 is like my favorite fucking thing in the fucking world that I've ever seen in my entire life. When the camera does the zoom shit. Oh my god.
Now we're going to slow it down a little bit.
I don't know if it's not called a triple cut. I don't know what it's fucking called. I just make up words. But the 1, 2, 3, that shit right there. Oh my god, the movement of the fucking actor and everything. I don't know. I really, really, really like the way this was fucking filmed.
I'll cue you in. Caravan. 3, 4.
Oh, this movie was so sick, dude. Okay, we're done. We're done for real. Holy shit. All right, we're really done. We're really done. Poor bass player, sick of this kid shit. Oh man, dude. The name of the movie is Whiplash. I don't know if there's like a place to buy it. I think somebody linked me a Kick-Ass torrent. But yeah, I saw the ad for this movie. I mean, it was pretty easy to figure out what the movie was gonna be about, but I didn't expect it to be. I didn't expect it to be that. I didn't expect that coming into that movie. I didn't think it was gonna be anywhere near that level of shit. Oh my fucking god. All right. Go to the cinema? I don't think it's showing in theaters. This movie would have been crazy to watch in theaters. Or I mean, I don't think it's... Oh, let me check. Hold on. I never heard about this movie. Yeah, it's not showing at any theaters in my area. When did it come out in movies? Oh no, wait. Well, I mean, wait, we already got a DVD release or a download, so I guess it must not be that new. When did it come out? Release dates. Oh, this is like a year old. Holy fuck. I didn't hear about this movie at all. How did I not hear about this at all? What the fuck? It was in theaters in October? Oh, well, why does it say release date is January? Oh, that was for Sundance. Okay, and it was in theaters in October. Okay, a couple months ago. Got it, got it. This movie was a $3.3 million budget. Holy shit, this was like indie tier. Box office was 6.8 million. That's a fucking crime. Did this get like a main release? I think that a lot of people would like this movie. I think that like I said, this isn't like a music movie. This is like a Remember the Titans is about football, kind of, but not really, you know? I think it's like that. Oh my god. All right. All of Fincher's films are shot brilliantly. I don't know what Fincher is. Is he the dude? I don't know. "19 days of filming? Damn. Was he really rushing or dragging in that scene? It was really hard for me to tell if there was rushing or dragging. I can't tell something like that. I have to listen for a while. I can't hear something like that after like 2 or 3 measures. I wouldn't be able to tell somebody was rushing or dragging because my mind doesn't work that quickly. If you would do like rhythm section, like I don't have the training for that. If you do like rhythm section stuff, you would probably be able to tell instantly. I can't though. I need to hear like a few bars before it's like, oh, okay, I think he's dragging. Okay, I think he's rushing. I wouldn't be able to hear like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're dragging. You know, I wouldn't be able to hear like instantly. I can't do that. I mean, maybe I need a lot more practice or whatever. It was also really hard for me to tell they were rushing or dragging because some of the tempos were really, really, really fucking fast. Which is too much. Like, what is dragging? Can I do it? I would need... I really shouldn't give this explanation because somebody that does rhythm could do this way better than me, but rushing is when you're rushing. Okay, so like you remember you learn in school, right? This is what you learn in school, okay? All right, we've got our fucking musical bullshit. All right, we'll say we're in the key of what is 1 flat F. Okay, let's say that we're in we're in 4/4 common time, C. I think C means 4/4, right? It's been so long since I've even looked at music. Sorry. Beautiful, right? The when you learn how to do, this is getting really particular. I don't think this really applies to classical romantic music. Like, I don't think this applies to orchestral music so much, but with jazz, this is so fucking important, right? Typically, when you're playing music as a student, you're playing in time, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you want to stay in time, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And that's all you do, right? With jazz, I'm not trying to say this is only jazz. I'm sure this applies to other forms of music too, but I know jazz, right? With jazz, like, the beat is so much more than that, right? If this is 1, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes with some forms of music, maybe you want the drummer to drag a little bit. You want them to sit, a director might say, or somebody in rhythm would say, like, you want to sit on the back side of the beat. Now, you're not playing late. I can't do this. I couldn't give you a good explanation because I really can't. If I had a drummer dude, he could demonstrate way better than me. But it's like, it's this idea that, like, instead of like 1, 2, 3, 4, you're like, you're sitting, like, you're still in time, but you're just so barely behind, right? That it gives a more laid back feeling to the piece, right? Or sometimes with a more aggressive piece, you might sit on the front of the beat, right? Maybe, not all the times though. Even a more aggressive piece, sometimes you'll sit on the back, right? So there's this idea that even though you've got like the beat that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes you want to sit as a drummer, you want to sit a little bit on the back of the beat, or you want to move in a little bit of the front of the beat to kind of like to give it like a sense of urgency, right? Sometimes these are all really general. Everything applies to different pieces, right? When somebody says that's like a good kind of drag, though, right? That's a good kind of drag. I'm not explaining swing right now. That's exactly not what I'm explaining. Please stop. But the rushing is where, like, let's say that let's say that I'm drumming, okay? Right, I kind of did it really obviously, right? But like basically what happens is you're moving too far. You're hitting before the time is hitting, and you end up rushing. You're moving faster. You're playing faster than the tempo, and you start to, it fucks everything up. That's what it means to rush, right? And dragging is where you're playing too far behind the beat, and eventually you're slowing everything down, right? Does that make sense? That's the difference between rushing and dragging. So it's the opposite of rushing? Yeah, pretty much. I like how Destiny treats like he does not know enough to explain in layman terms. I mean, I'm using pretty layman terms. Wait, what don't you understand? Isn't that always bad in a music sense? Sometimes you want to sit on the backside. Well, I mean, this is really complicated. I don't fucking know, but dragging is where you're playing a little bit too late. Rushing is where you're playing a little bit early, right? How are you supposed to tell if you're rushing or dragging? Is it just based off of what everyone else is doing or what? Well, it's based off of the it's based off of the, I mean, it depends. Wait, what's the question? Rushing and dragging? How are you supposed to be able to tell? Well, like, that's the thing. With the drummer, you really have to internalize the tempo. Like, a lot of drummers actually play with a click track in their ear. Well, I say a lot. I don't know how common it is. But some drummers will actually have, like, a metronome hooked up to, like, a little earpiece that they put in that's playing a click track in their ear so that they can actually have the tempo in their ear. But for drummers, you just got to know it. That's it. Or watch the conductor. If the conductor... I say usually conductors don't actually conduct at the highest. Well, okay, I gotta back up. No, even for like orchestral performances, actually it really depends on the conductor. A lot of times conductors aren't actually up there, you know, like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2, like at really high levels where the musicians know their shit. A lot of the time conductors are only cueing, right? They'll cue in like a certain section, or they'll tell, you know, they'll be like, you know, give me, you know, more dynamic, less dynamic, or, you know, like we gotta, you know, crescendo, decrescendo, whatever, we're retardando, you know, I need to slow the group down, or cueing in, you know, new people that have been out for a long time. Usually is what goes on. So a lot of the times in jazz band, like if you're fucking up the tempo a little bit, like the director might start conducting in front of you, you know, like 1 2, like he might give you a tempo to try to bring it back or whatever. But for drummers, you just kind of have to internalize it. You're not usually, it's very rare, I think, at a high level. I think it's very rare that the conductor is actually conducting every like time for the entire piece. Don't quote me on that. That might not be true for like orchestral shit. Although I mean, we could look at it. Samuel Barber, Adagio for strings. I like this piece, and I know that they show the guy conducting. Maybe people have other things of people conducting. Is it easy to fix rushing or dragging without stopping, or do you usually have to complete the rest of the piece? Well, if it's in rehearsal, you just stop immediately. Because if somebody's rushing or dragging, it throws off everything. Time is so important. Destiny, I think you have the wrong idea of what rushing is. I absolutely know what rushing is. The time is really important in jazz, because in jazz, the phrase for jazz is in the pocket, right? And hip hop actually borrows like a lot of the feel that you get from rappers. That whole swinging eighth things, that's so fucking important in jazz. It's everything. Every part of a piece, all the feel comes from the rhythm. So if your drummer and your bass player aren't perfectly synced up and giving you like the fattest fucking beats, the most laid feedback fucking drumming, like they're not perfectly in the pocket, it kind of fucks up everything else. You lose that entire feel, and you go from having like a really hip, like in the pocket section where everybody's just fucking playing perfectly fucking in time, and the drummer is sitting right in the fucking pocket giving the perfect fucking beat to the entire fucking band. Instead you have everything feels kind of off, and then nothing feels right anymore, right? The do I really want to do this? I don't, well, this is not, a lot of people don't realize this, but a lot of rap actually comes from in music. You know how you have this pattern, you've got eighth notes, right? So I mean, you might not know this, but like, and this basically means that you would say this is 1, this is 2, and these are eighth notes. So you would count this 1 and 2 and, right? If you saw this written in normal music, you would count this 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and like right this, right? Shit. But in jazz, you count this differently because you swing all of the eighth notes. Usually, there are going to be exceptions to this, but for the most part, you would always count this as 1, a 2, a 3, or 1. Fuck, hold on. This is really slow tempo. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Sorry, I can't swing on the fucking piano. Fuck me, I'm bad. I could do it better on my saxophone, right? But everything is swung, right? Like, and instead of like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you it's like, right? You swing it, right? The yeah, okay, slow songs are not swung. Fuck off. Obviously, I said there were exceptions, right? For the most part, though, this idea, this swung rhythm is like where you get like all of your fucking, a lot of your feel for jazz comes this way. I think that do it on your sax. I don't want to. But this swing time thing, the swing thing carries over, I think. I think it carries over to like a lot of like rapping too. You know how sometimes when you hear rappers and you hear that they're like, and you've got like people talk about like that flow or the feel. A lot of the times it's because I think it goes back to like that swing shit. Let's listen. I might be completely wrong. But I'm pretty sure. Oh, let me find. Cooling on the corner, right? Can you hear like the swing, right? Instead of like cooling on the corner with it's like cooling on the corner, right? That there's you hear that there's swing in that, right? A lot of the stuff that he does is like not necessarily like straight. Representing for the gangsters all across, right? It's like it's swung. It's not representing for the gangsters all across the world. It's representing for the gangsters all across, right? There's like a swing there, right? Can you hear that? The Shack, play this track. I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world. Right? There's a bit of swing. I noticed this a lot because Maximus Black has a Casey-tron song. And the lyrics are okay, but like I don't think Maximus Black necessarily hears that swing thing. And sometimes when you listen to some rappers, and it sounds like they're like really in jazz you would call them, these guys are square, right? A lot of times when you hear rappers and it sounds like they don't have good flow, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're not actually like doing that swinging, and they're saying everything like super straight, right? If you listen to Maximus Black rap, sometimes like if you listen to it, like it sounds kind of off, and you're like, oh well, I wonder why. I think it.
So you can continue to donate. You see, without those tits, you wouldn't amount to shit on Twitch. Keep your shirt on, chick, cause no one wants to see your saucer nips.
Right? I think this has to do with the lack of the swing there, right?
Shirt on, chick, cause no Twitch. Keep your shirt on, chick, cause no one wants to see your saucer.
Rather than like, keep your shirt on, chick, no one wants to see your saucer. Instead of something like that, it's like, keep your shirt on, chick, no one wants to see your saucer. Instead of like swinging it more, right? Keep your shirt on, chick, because no one wants to see your saucer. Right? Instead of something like that, right? I think that swing, that idea of swing carries over from jazz and affects hip hop quite a bit. So that, and if you're swinging your speech, like it sounds a lot less square, right? Then
which keep your shirt on, chick, because no one wants to see your saucer nips.
Does that make sense? All right, we're done with this. We got way fucking off. All right, we're moving. We're doing yeah, but I'm pretty sure that most rap has that like those swing patterns are there. Even if people like aren't consciously thinking about it, like the swing thing is like really important.
Slip my hoe a 40 just to swing in my hair. Bullet with some dick and take this dope on this jet. Come back, get back. That's the part of success. If you
Hold on, let me. Right. I wish I had the lyrics. I don't know what they're saying. What is he saying? Mobbing? You know what? Mobbing with the D-O-double-G. Right? Can you? I'm exaggerating it a bit more, right? But. You know I'm mobbing with the D-O-double-G. You know I'm mobbing with the D-O-double-G. Doesn't sound as good as you know I'm mobbing with the D-O-double-G, right? I'm exaggerating a little bit, right? You can hear how there's like some swing in there, right? All right, we're really moving on. I swear we're done. That's it. Now we're absolutely done. We're really done, I promise. Does this only apply to singing? No, it applies to everything. All the instruments in a jazz ensemble are going to be swinging. Are we really done? We're really done. Tritone substitution? What does that have to do with? I don't remember the phrase, but in jazz, the tritone substitution is the chord substitution of a chord with a dominant chord that has a root one tritone away from the original. So what if you're in the key of C? Is a chord with a dominant chord that is a root tritone away. So what, from C it would be an F sharp? So you would go from C to F. I don't understand what the functionality is. I would have to look at it to understand it more. Here is a swing to show you that swing feel. If you ever want to listen for like the swing pattern, the most obvious part of the drum set you'll hear it in is always the ride, right? Whereas like people call it the ride, right? This, when you're doing that pattern, the ride pattern, right, is like the most obvious part you'll hear it on. You can hear it right at the start here. Right. All right. In layman terms is by playing between beats. The best way to explain swing time in layman terms is, instead of thinking of beats as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, think of it in triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a right? That usually makes more sense then, rather than thinking of it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and right, like that. Oh, I was supposed to build leggings there. We're talking too much. It's all ogre, boys. If this guy opens Reaper, I'm fuckerinoed. Oh, it's all ogre. Wouldn't that be a completely different time signature? No, it's not. It's still, the time signature only refers to the amount of beats per measure, right? So 4/4 means you always count it as 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4. That's 4/4, right? 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4. The only difference is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and rather than 1 and 2 and 3 4 1 2 3 4 right? That's swing 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 3 2 versus 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And those are both 4/4. It's just that one is swung and one is not, right?